It's crucial to protect our girls and our females. And as a mother, I will always stand by and protect females and women in sports and to make sure they're safe in their safe spaces, such as a bathroom and a locker room. I will and I will continue to do that. I did that as a mother. I do that as a board member. Our female athletes deserve the opportunities. And I will say their sacrifices, their blood, their tears, their work, I see it firsthand. I am a mother of two beautiful, hardworking athletes, and they invest, and they deserve protection. And I'm appalled by the idea that their dreams can be shattered. Taking away someone else's rights to give somebody else's rights, that's not equal opportunity. Title IX, women worked hard for Title IX. And I am so appalled that it's being shattered by the dictatorship up in Washington, D.C. So I'm proposing this resolution tonight that we vote on it next board meeting. And just quickly, I want to go over exactly what it says, because I know this is going to be twisted in all kinds of different ways. But the fact is, we need real people to stand up for our girls in a time like this when everything is being ripped apart.
I'm a resident of North Wales Borough. I'm speaking tonight regarding continued concerns I have over the violent behaviors that occur across all of North Penn schools. The incident that occurred yesterday at Pembroke, and knowing that this is clearly a situation where there was a known risk of violence, really put me over the edge. This was avoidable, and the district truly failed to protect the students at Pembroke. As we all know by now, the result was quite devastating. This was avoidable. The risk was clear. So when we get an email that states student safety is always of the utmost importance to the district, it really has become rhetoric that we don't believe or trust. I could spend hours giving you examples of the violence that is happening readily in any school on any given day, K to 12. There are ongoing instances of classrooms being destroyed, windows being broken, students and teachers being threatened, classrooms evacuated, and students being assaulted. In many of these instances, there is such a lack of transparency and communication that parents aren't even being told when these incidents happen in their child's classroom. They find out secondhand, and then they have to do their own due diligence to try to figure out what's going on. And the response we all continually get is an apathetic, non-authentic response. The district seems to always downplay these instances of violence, and they try to normalize and desensitize the parents and students to these situations. Most of the time, what we see happening is students being returned to the same environment with little to no consequences or discipline. If there are no consequences for behavior, then what is the incentive to change that behavior? What is the point of having a discipline code? Unfortunately, what most of us believe is that decisions are being made based out of a fear of lawsuits and not based on what would be an appropriate consequence to the behavior. These instances continue to occur and occur more frequently because nothing is changing. A truly inclusive educational setting requires a massive amount of support, far beyond what North Penn currently offers at any school. The amount of resources you are taking away from each school on any given day in order for them to just try and maintain order is extreme. All of your staff is using every single resource, strategy, and personal strength they have to try and keep a safe environment without enough support. This is why teachers are leaving. When a student is continually displaying violent and disruptive behaviors in the setting they have been put in, despite using supplementary aids and services, I find it extremely difficult to argue that they are being placed in the least restrictive environment according to the law. I simply do not see how that can possibly constitute making satisfactory educational progress. We need leaders who are not afraid to do what's right. You cannot continue to pretend that students with severe emotional needs and violent behaviors can be treated in the same way as other learning needs, and something needs to change.
When my son got home from school, I watched him walk in the door and drop to the ground immediately. He was white as a ghost, and he bawled his eyes out crying for over an hour. He didn't get out of bed the whole rest of the day. He didn't get out of bed the whole rest of the day today. He's absolutely traumatized from this event. I don't know how I'm going to send him back and sit him in that cafeteria. He's like, all I keep seeing is blood. Every time I close my eyes, I see her blood. What are we supposed to say to our children after this? How do I send him back to school? That's my question. How does he feel safe going back to school? Because he doesn't. How does he not relive this trauma every single time that he goes into the lunchroom? He's had multiple issues this year that we've gone to the school about, and I've received the same generic emails that the other parents brought up. The student was talked to, blah, blah, blah. Have a great day. Let us know if anything else. I thought that it was being handled. Now I'm thinking this is all just being swept under the rug. The email that we received was unbelievable. I was floored by that email for the principal. Floored. I was disgusted. Every single word on there was absolutely revolting. It was insulting to the parents of that child. It was insulting to her. It was insulting to all of our children who witnessed that. To put it on the parents, you guys need to talk to your parents about fighting. This was not about our kids fighting. This was about your failures. It was about all the school's failures.
Never informed my son would be dressing out in a locker room with biological females, which removed the opportunity for conversation and choice. When I learned this was going on, I set aside my own concern because I wanted to find out how he felt, and he quickly replied, "It doesn't matter." When I pressed him to find out if he was uncomfortable again, he replied, "It's uncomfortable, but it doesn't matter." When I asked, "Why are you not speaking up?" he said, "It's uncomfortable, but I don't speak up because it doesn't matter." That's the message he received. His voice doesn't matter. How he feels doesn't matter, and ultimately, he has no choice in the matter. You have two options: you dress out or you feel PE. If I'm not mistaken, your vote should represent the majority, yet it seems the majority's feelings and opinions on these topics are being largely ignored. We need to start asking better questions, such as, what alternatives can we put in place to protect and respect everyone's boundaries?
I'm going to begin by reading a post from a woman who goes by the handle Janice Anna on X. The following are her words. "It boggles my mind that after decades of being told not to walk alone at night, lock your doors, don't get into an elevator alone with a strange man, be careful of stairways, watch your drink, carry your keys in your hand, don't go into the park at night, don't go walking or jogging with headphones, don't go into the woods alone, close your windows, check the back seat of your car before getting in, avoid getting too close to vans, walk with a purpose, don't sit in your car at the mall, be constantly on alert, don't answer the door to strangers, don't hitchhike, be careful what you wear, take a self-defense class, be prepared to scream fire, don't get in a car with a stranger." After all these warnings, we are now told men in dresses won't hurt you. Stop being a bigot and strip down in the change room while they're there. They have the right to look at you. If you have a problem with that, that's your problem. Stop being a fearmonger. Shut up and accept it, Nazi. So we have evolved over billions of years as a sexually dimorphic species. We have inherited billions of years of awareness and instinct to recognize sex. As females in our species, women and girls inherit a special awareness regarding the extra risk males pose to us. Over the millennia, this instinct has served us well, and it is this instinct that informed the known cautions listed in Anna's post. Gender ideology, a quasi-religious, techno-medical takeover of our sex-based humanity, has now been mandated by every institution in our society. Women and girls are being forced to give up our hard-won single-sex spaces to validate the feelings of men and boys who have declared a gender identity. No consideration is given to women and girls' safety, privacy, and dignity, as we are told their identities make these men and boys extra vulnerable. But this is not the case, and we do not need to rely on theory to show the risk posed to women and girls.
I'm here to speak to you as a concerned mother. There was an article yesterday about my daughter and me and our estrangement over trans ideology in the Sacramento Bee. I hope you all will read it. I'm not transphobic or bigoted for believing in reality. Never before have we had such a huge number of kids suddenly identifying as transgender or non-binary, usually in a cluster or group at their school, in the theater, the robotics, the friend groups. We have teachers, we have counselors celebrating these kids. And we have coaches and athletic directors lying to these children. In fact, this is the CIF Gender Inclusive Toolkit that came from Washington State and I know we have someone here from Washington State. This was written by a trans activist in that state, and you have adopted it as your toolkit. It's telling girls that their bodies mean nothing. In fact, at my high school in Davis, we have 5 transgender boys who are competing as girls. Last year, one of the boys won the state championship for CIF downhill skiing. Another boy just won the JV league meet because the coaches said you can't compete on varsity girls. You have to be JV because we don't want to lose a spot for those girls. There's another boy who just got the ninth grade record for pole vault. So what we have here at my high school is we have 5 different boys undressing, competing, taking away spots from girls, taking away their privacy, taking away their safety. That's one high school. So I want you all, right here, if you could raise your hand, which one of you will not be a coward? Which one of you will be honest and tell those kids on your sports teams that they can't change their sex? That it's not right that a boy thinks he can be a girl, and that it's not right that there's girls right now having their breasts amputated because they're being told by you in the CIF that children can change their sex. We know that's not possible,